This conference will now be recorded.
Good afternoon. My name is Ryan Falquist. I'm with the Center for Instructional Technology here at Ivy Tech Community College, and it is the month of March, and we are celebrating Disability Awareness Month. And joining me today is I'll be able to interview Chad Crowe and Christine Dahlberg from the Governor's Council for People with Disabilities. I'm very excited to be able to work with both of them and to just learn more about what they do for the Governor's Council for People with Disabilities. So just a couple questions that we'll be going through and elaborate just to give some information for everybody out there is first of all, I'd like to know from either Chad or Christine, if we'll just take turns, please just tell us what your role is within the organization, first of all, and just a way of introducing yourself.
Well, I'm Christine Dahlberg. I'm the Executive Director of the Governor's Council, and I've held this position for about 3 years now, but I have been working for the Council as Deputy Director prior to that, and I've actually been with the Council for about 30 years now. So I certainly am, there's been a lot of changes over the years, but we have been doing March Awareness Month since the 90s. So it's been a pretty long program, and one of our premier programs. I think it's what most people know us by, is March Disability Awareness Month, although we do a lot of other things as well.
And I'm Chad Crowe. I'm the Deputy Director. I joined the Council back in 2009. So I've been with state government for 10 years. I've been with the Council for, I think, 6 or 7 of those 10 years. And in my role, I kind of help Christine with whatever she wants me to do, and assist with the day-to-day operations of the Council. And one of my first projects that I was handed when I started was Disability Awareness Month. So it's been very exciting to see that kind of grow throughout the years, and especially take on kind of a life of its own through social media, which wasn't really wasn't one of the areas that we were working in back when I first started, but now it's really taken off, and we're able to reach a much broader audience, I think, than we were in the past. So the potential for getting the word out has been really exciting.
Excellent. Yeah, and I guess, like you both were saying or indicating, just a change of the times as the I guess the month has been celebrated. You said it's been celebrated for roughly 30 years. Is that correct?
Well, I believe the first Disability Awareness Month was around 1988. Yeah. So you have to do the math.
Excellent.
31 years, yeah.
Excellent.
And, it originally was Developmental Disability Awareness Month, and it still is in a lot of states. But in Indiana, we've broadened it to include the entire disability community.
Interesting. So as far as what the Governor's Council for People with Disabilities does, it has been around, like you said, for a little while, so it's nothing new. And then this month has been celebrated as a way of getting information out of what you all do and how you support people with disabilities throughout the state of Indiana. What are some other things that you do? I know your website is excellent with showing just things that you've done and been able to accomplish. Just even over, I know on your homepage there, whether it be awarded grants or been able to work with people throughout the state, just with getting different programs out there. Could you just explain from a general way of explaining what you do on a regular basis and what your organization is in charge of?
Sure. We're federally funded under the Developmental Disabilities Assistance and Bill of Rights Act, and we get around $1.5 million a year, and we use that to do a lot of in addition to March Disability Awareness Month, we fund a fairly large number of grant projects and other projects that we do in-house. We have a 5-year state plan, And so essentially our job is to implement that plan and to do activities that will cause the outcomes that we anticipated for the plan. We have a board of directors that's appointed by the governor, and so they're in charge of helping to develop and approve the plan, and making sure that we as staff get the outcomes that they expect us to get. We work in a lot of different areas, including employment and transportation. We also work in the healthcare area on various healthcare projects. Some of our newest areas, I think, will probably be our employment. We've got a couple of projects that we're doing to help people who are interested in maybe becoming an entrepreneur and running their own business. And then another project where we're trying to get support statewide for the concept of employment first. And that essentially means that employment is the first and preferred outcome for every person with a disability in Indiana. And we want to promote employment, community-based employment at a regular wage in with other people that don't have disabilities, and whatever it takes to get people to that level. So, that's one of the ones I think I'm most excited about that we're doing. That's a fairly new project. But we have quite a few other things too. We provide small grants for people if they want to attend conferences or go to events or activities to learn more about their disability rights or advocacy. And we also have an annual conference which Chad can tell you about, because that project is his baby.
Yeah, so we actually do a lot of training. So we have a biennial, is it biennial? Biannual?
Every other year.
Every other year. Statewide conference. It's held in Indianapolis, downtown. So this year it's going to be held in November, right before Thanksgiving, and you'll be able to find information about that on our website, which is gcpd.in.gov. So we've got it's a pretty large conference, and we have individuals with disabilities that attend, and family members, but as well as individuals from academia or local and state government or service providers, educators. So it's a pretty wide audience that attends. So we would definitely encourage people to check that out if they're interested. We also have a 8-month Partners in Policymaking Academy that we put on every other year, and that's Christine's baby.
Yep, it's one of my favorite programs. So we're training family members of children with disabilities and adults with disabilities to work with policymakers on promoting policies and programs and changing systems to better meet the needs of people with disabilities. And so it's an 8-month program where they come together once a month on a Friday and Saturday to learn from national and state experts. And they have homework and a community project that they have to develop. It's kind of it's almost like a survey class in college, where you do homework, you have reading, skill development, as well as lectures. So it's a pretty cool program, and generally we have around 30 people that go through it and graduate every 2 years, and then they go on to be advocates in their communities, working on community projects and helping to enrich Indiana as well as the local communities that they're from.
Right, and we also put on a week-long intensive institute called the Who's Your Leadership Academy, or Who's Your Leadership Institute, and that's for really for emerging leaders that are involved in some capacity on the professional level with people with disabilities, or providing services for people with disabilities. And that'll take place again in May up in Muncie at the Erskine Green Training Institute, and we'll have information about that on our website here very shortly.
We are really excited about March Awareness Month, though, this year, because as Chad said, it's the social media aspect of it is gone. For us, we could call it viral compared to what it was last year.
Sure.
We've had what 50,000,
55,000
views of our video. So if you can get that out there and share it around with Ivy Tech locations, that would be great. I think if you haven't seen it yet, I think you'll really enjoy looking at it. It's pretty powerful, and it's a lot of fun too.
And you can find that on our Facebook page. We're easy to find through the Facebook search.
Excellent. And I know there's great information on your website, and I know the Indiana Disability Awareness website, the .org website as well, has great information just on everything that has to do with the month of March and disability awareness. As far as going back to one of the comments that you made, Christine, I was interested in to see if you could elaborate and see where you find maybe a connection with Ivy Tech, people that may be viewing this webinar, this recorded webinar, maybe faculty, students, maybe family members, those with, or maybe possibly students with disabilities. And yes, getting education is very important. And then what to do after maybe their time at Ivy Tech is done, they've gotten some sort of diploma or certification, and they want to get out in the workforce. What are some things that you can do, or what can a student in that place of, say, they're going to graduate this May and looking for employment, what are some things that they could do to maybe help better themselves and give themselves an opportunity to possibly get a job?
Okay, sounds good.
Well, the two projects that we are promoting right now are pretty specific, and they're targeted toward people who don't have a job now but would like to have, or maybe they have a job that isn't up to their capacity, and they would like to go into business for themselves and become some kind of an entrepreneur, and they have maybe an idea about what they'd like to do. Then we have a grant with an organization that helps people plan for that, and there'll be some training that will take place to kind of get people started in that area if they're interested in it. And that is going to take place between now and September of 2020, those activities. And the other one is just advocacy related, where we're trying to get people in 10 different communities and a statewide group advocating for employment first. I'm not sure if you or your listeners are aware of this, but there are many people with lifelong disabilities that have gone through the special education system, and when they come out on the other end, they often don't have a diploma, and they are often placed in what we call sheltered workshops. And these workshops exist all around the state of Indiana, when they're basically the kind of piecework or that you might associate with like a factory floor, where people would, are putting things together, or, in some kind of semi-factory environment where they're putting packets together for another business that, and they're being paid sub-minimum wage. In other words, less than minimum wage. And so what we're trying to do is promote programs and services that, make sure that people are matched with jobs that are suitable to their skills and their interests, and that pay at least minimum wage, and definitely at least prevailing wage, which is minimum wage or above, for the type of work that they're doing. And so, to me, that advocacy work is needed because the Indiana and other states too, many other states, spend an awful lot of money supporting people in these sub-minimum wage jobs when they could be helping them get real jobs. So there you go.
Yeah, that's a great point, because I think some people may think of maybe, you know, they're selling themselves short. And it sounds like your advocacy group does a great job of not only educating people, but that there are other opportunities out there, but also with grant money and obviously money that's out there, and able to form programs like the entrepreneurship type program where people can learn how to do business for themselves and learn how to, you know, maybe think outside the box and not just think minimum wage or a job that they're maybe stuck in. So I think that's a great thing that you're doing.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's well, it's definitely needed.
Yeah, excellent. Chad, I was just hoping that you could maybe just elaborate just a little more. I know you shared a lot already, but I was really fascinated with the comment you made about the 55,000 hits that you've already had on your video. And I'm taking it, whether that be on Facebook or whether that be through the Indiana Disability Awareness Month website. Is that the video that you're talking about?
Yeah. So this year is the second year that we've done this. So we've created a small, a short kind of public service announcement, which is you can find on our Facebook page as well as Twitter and Instagram. But it might be easier just to even get to it from IndianaDisabilityAwareness.org, which is our main website that we use each year for our campaign. So each campaign, excuse me, each year we have kind of a new theme. So this year's theme is a continuation of a broader campaign theme of "Be Cool, We Are." If you go to our website, you'll find our poster. This year we have two different versions of the poster, one featuring a younger child and one featuring a younger adult. The younger adult's actually a college student, and both posters talk about the message of inclusion and awareness, which is the ultimate kind of goal of our awareness campaign. Individuals can go to our website and order free kits or free materials. So we've got those two posters that are available. We've got stickers that we've created, as well as rack cards, which are sort of like bookmarks but bigger. We also have just a ton of different activity packets and educational resources on IndianaDisabilityAwareness.org, which individuals can use to help plan events in their communities to promote the message of inclusion and awareness. And if they don't want to actually, go through the effort of putting on their own event, it's certainly easy to put a poster up in your office or your cubicle or, in your workspace, or take it to your local coffee shop or church. Those are all great ideas and easy ways to participate. And even just promoting the message through social media. So just sharing one of our public service announcements, or one of our 31 tips that we have coming out each day of this month, which helps individuals kind of learn, the different etiquette and tips for interacting with people with disabilities, so that they can make sure that all of their interactions are done in a respectful way.
And another thing we have is we have a booklet called Disabled Disrespect that is kind of a guide to disability etiquette, and that's a very popular, in fact, it's practically our only real publication. Most of our stuff's online now, but this little booklet is very helpful. A lot of people use it when they're educating new staff people, or doing any kind of outreach to the public. It makes a nice little handout to give people to help them relax and not worry so much about interacting, because it's really not that hard. You just have to treat people just like you would anyone else. And
right.
That's one reason why I think that awareness month message, even though we change it every year, the underlying message is still the same. People want to be treated just like everyone else. They want to be included. They want jobs. They want places to live. There's really there's no reason to segregate and separate people with disabilities. That needs to be a thing of the past.
Absolutely.
Right, and just looking through your booklet, because I did sign up for my packet and got the packet here, that I'll be able to share information here at Ivy Tech, as well as I know campuses throughout the state of Indiana. Our disability support services are doing a really good job promoting this cause. and getting the word out of what they do on a regular basis, but being able to promote the state's cause for the month of March is so good. In this little booklet, the Disabled Disrespect, I do, just because I do have a child with spinal bifida and I've dealt with, special needs, I do like just the easy things, because people don't think of when they want to ask you, what a condition is, or you don't want to say what's wrong with somebody. Simple words to lose on one of your pages here, page 6, says, instead of maybe calling it a handicap, which some people do, that could have a negative connotation. So you would say disability instead. That's a word to live by, as illustrated here in this. Another thing would be, because my son is in a wheelchair. Instead of being wheelchair bound or confined to a wheelchair, he's someone that uses a wheelchair. So I really think just things like that in a simple booklet like this can make a huge difference in a way that everybody can communicate with other people, not making them feel different, because I think that's really what the month of March is really all about. Would you agree?
I would.
Absolutely.
That's exactly what it's about.
Great. Well, I did want to say, or ask one last question, just in regards to Ivy Tech. There are a lot of things that different campuses are doing throughout the state. What are some things that you've seen, or some ideas that people have done that you've worked with through the years of just promoting this cause? And do you have any ideas for people out there that are maybe looking to do, whether it be an event or just, they could get a poster, but maybe there's something that they want to do more of? What are some things that you've seen or heard throughout the state and throughout your years working on this project that you could give us some ideas on doing?
Sure. Well, some people, in the libraries, we see a lot of librarians or individuals that work in library programming do book readings, or have a display of different books that they would recommend to help kind of facilitate a conversation about, about disability.
Yeah, sometimes people have awareness fairs too, where they'll bring in local groups and organizations to set up a booth or something, and invite parents and other members of the community to come and find out about some of the services that are available locally. We've also had things like mayor's proclamations,
award ceremonies or recognition ceremonies. Art contests. A lot of art contests. Right. We've had, individuals host speaking events where sometimes this is in conjunction with an awareness fair. Sometimes it's a standalone event where, last year we had actually a lot of college students host speaking events on their campuses where they talked about issues related to either having a disability or living with a disability, or
going to school
with a disability. Right.
Right.
And those were really well received.
Yeah, another one is movies. We've had a lot of movie nights where they get a documentary. There's several really good ones out there, or another movie that depicts disability, either in a positive or a negative light, and then depending on that, you have a panel afterwards to talk about why this is a problem, portraying people with disabilities in this way, or why it's really empowering and great. So you can kind of pair something like that with a discussion afterwards to kind of help people dive a little bit deeper into the topic. So that's a lot of fun, and we've seen a lot of colleges and universities do that as well.
Right. Some individuals who go to church will work with their church to introduce Disability Awareness Month, and part of the discussion that's happening, or through the ministry.
Yeah, and another thing that a lot of people do is they will, and this is not a bad idea at all, is to have a group of students go through the Ivy Tech and actually assess it for accessibility, and then write up a report making recommendations on things that might need to be changed to make the campus fully accessible to people with mobility or other kinds of disabilities. That often can be very helpful, and also lead to changes that will have an impact on future students at the Ivy Tech. So that one would really be good. And if you look on our Awareness Month website, there's like 20 different planning packets. Yeah. And all of those ideas plus more are in those packets where people can have a little more guidance and direction on what it might take to put something together. Or, you know, they wouldn't have to follow it exactly, but at least it gives you a starting point.
Sure, and you know, and access on college campuses goes beyond just physical access, and I'm sure that Ryan, you can acknowledge you would have something to say about this, but you know, when it comes to instructional design, you know, for students to be participants and along with their professors or instructors to make sure that all of the materials and classwork that they're receiving is accessible is really important, and we see some campuses use Disability Awareness Month to provide special training for instructors on how to make sure like things like their PowerPoint or their handouts are accessible.
Yeah, all these are excellent ideas. Yeah, I know that some of our campuses are doing different outreaches, and the idea of movie nights, again, Ivy Tech is throughout the state, and we have you know, several different campuses that are doing different things. But yeah, these are all excellent ideas, and as well as partnering up with different community outreaches, whether it be at the local community college like us, or like you mentioned, you know, possibly getting the word out at the local church or other organizations that are out there. So I think all these are great ideas and things that I definitely want to try to help promote and possibly do more of here throughout Ivy Tech and our different campuses. So I did want to go ahead.
Another thing you could do for us, Ryan, if you would, is as you're promoting activities and you find out about what different campuses are doing, we would love to hear about that. We'd love to hear more about what is actually happening at the Ivy Techs and, you know, what they are doing. Sometimes, you know, we put materials out and we give people ideas, but we never hear if anything, you know, we don't hear much about what the actual outcomes are, what people actually did with the materials, and did they do an activity. So to the extent you can help out, so, you know, kind of let us know if you find out about some things, that would really be appreciated.
Oh, most definitely. One thing I think that, yeah, we can all learn from is, you know, great feedback. And I know you all have with your packet, you have information that I know you probably go through and come through as far as doing the coordinator evaluations. So I know that's something that I definitely want to help promote for all those people that are out there doing different events and everything that are coordinated like I am. That I'm sure that's something that you all appreciate and definitely want to hear back from, so that you can help promote. And especially with social media, like you mentioned, even our platform at Ivy Tech, you know, if one person shares it, then it can go out to, you know, 50,000 people very easily. So, and then that gets doubled and tripled as people continue to share, you know, something like this, which is a great cause that can benefit everybody within the state of Indiana. So I definitely want to help promote what you all are doing with your different websites. So I do appreciate Chad Crowe, Deputy Director, and Christine Dahlberg, Executive Director from the Governor's Council. So you know, this is just such a great cause that we're doing, that we're, you know, trying to partner up with and trying to get the word out as far as Disability Awareness Month for the month of March. And these two websites are really the best websites to go to regarding just information and what you need to do, whether it be at an Ivy Tech campus or maybe just something that you want to get free posters, free stickers, or brochures, whatever you want to do that you can help promote, leave at your church or other organization, other community outreach in your area. So I just definitely wanted to thank Chad and Christine for their time, and thank everybody for taking time to watch this webinar. We will continue to do things throughout the month of March, and we definitely encourage everybody to help promote the cause of, you know, getting the word out of Disability Awareness Month.